In this tutorial, you'll learn how to render motion design graphics and use them as an image sequence in Reality 5.7. We'll render a procedural background animation, export it as an image sequence, and reuse it in another level. In this example, we use cloners to create the animation. If you want to learn more about cloners, please check Introduction to Cloners video. So I will show you how to render this out. I'm going to use the built-in rendering option, which is Movie Render Queue. You can access it from here. If you want to use Legacy Movie Scene Capture, you can also select that. But I recommend you use Movie Render Queue. So I will click on this render button and it will open the Movie Render Queue window here. You can configure your rendering. You can see a level here. You can have multiple levels. You can render out multiple levels at the same time. And each time you can render one single sequence. So for the configuration, I will click on it to open it. Here you can see the exports, rendering options, and the outputs. First, for my output, I will click on this button and I want to set it to my desktop. Also, if you want a higher resolution or a lower resolution, you can change it from here. As you can see, our animation has alpha, so JPEG won't be any good for us because JPEG doesn't support translucency. So I will delete that. From this plus icon, I will add PNG sequence, and you can see the PNG has the alpha option. And also from your deferred rendering, you need to enable the accumulator includes alpha option. That is important, otherwise you cannot get any translucency. And one last thing to show you, you can see there are a bunch of settings that you can add. You can try each one of them and see the results by yourself. But the one I want to add is high resolution. So it will render out in high resolution mode. This is important for me. I think pretty much everything is ready, so I can hit accept and I will choose render local. Okay, it's done. Now I want to use that image sequence at another level. First, let's create some levels to use it. Right-click here, create a level, and let's rename it. Since we are creating a full screen, let's rename it as fs_news. Like this. I'm going to open it. And I will enable motion design. And create the default. Right here, I can see my camera. Right now, I'm not going to design anything here. I will show you how to import the image sequence that you want. So for that, I will minimize my reality editor. On my desktop, you can see the image sequence of this render. You can directly import all of them inside your project. But instead of doing that, I want to copy all of them. Let's find our project here, image sequence. Inside this, in the content folder, I will create a special folder which is movies. Movies is a special name and Unreal understands what it does. Unreal understands that this folder is storing the movies and media-related assets, like image sequences. Inside this, I'm going to create another folder named in, and I will paste all my image sequence files inside this. Then Unreal will ask if you want to import these contents. I will select don't import, because if I import, I will have 121 textures in my folder, which I don't need. So I'm not going to import. But wherever I carry this project with me, I will always have this image sequence, so there won't be an issue with binding. If I click on the in folder here, you can see it seems empty, but actually we have our image sequence inside this. Next, I'm going to right-click in my content browser. From media, select image media source, and let's rename it as background underscore in. Double-click on it. In here, you need to define the sequence path. Click on the icon. In my movies folder, in the in folder, you can see my image sequence here. Select one, not all of them. Select the first one and click open. Let me maximize this view. When I hit open, you can see we actually imported the animation. So I can save it and close it. Then what I'm going to create is, you need a media player. Enable media output. Make the texture asset. Hit OK. Rename it as MP underscore background underscore in. It will automatically create the texture. This is basically the render target for our media player. So when I open this, double click on this, you can see our media player is playing. At the same time, it is affecting the texture like this. From this point, I just need to add a rectangle in my level and assign this texture to it. So I will use this rectangle from motion design mode. Double click on it and it will give me a rectangle. If you come into the details of this rectangle, let's first make it bigger to fit our screen. Like this. In the material type, you can see it is simple. I can change it into Material Designer. Since I'm going to use translucency on this animation, I need to select this. And it will give me two channels, emissive channel and opacity channel. For the opacity channel, this is my color texture. Underneath, you can see the texture settings. I will replace this with the MP underscore background underscore in media texture here. I get my texture right here, but you can see it seems a little bit stretched because we need to change the parameter here, material UV. It is currently preserve ratio, but I will change it to stretched and it will fit into my rectangle size. So how do we animate this? To animate this in our sequencer, right now you can see I am using the in animation. I will add a media track. From this media track, we need to assign the media source, which is our background underscore in. You can see it is quite longer than this frame. Let's come to the end of it and set it to the endpoint. Right now, you can see nothing is happening because it says missing media texture. So we need to assign the media texture here. I will right-click on it. From properties, I'm just going to select the media texture, which is our media background underscore in. I select this and you can see I got the animation, but it is not translucent, so I'm seeing black areas here. This is because in our texture, the opacity layer is not using alpha. So we need to replace this texture with our animation texture as well. So I will replace this, but you can see it's kind of like an embossing effect because it is not using the alpha channel. It is using the RGBA channels, so we need to change it to alpha, and it will fix our problem. And you can easily use your graphics. Now, the animation is fine. This is how we can create background animations and use image sequences like this. But there's one more catch. We have the animation, but we don't have the out animation. There are two possible ways to achieve the out animation. The first one is rendering the animation a second time in reverse and redoing everything we have done so far. Most of the time, designers do not have enough time for this. Rendering the graphics a second time is hard and time-consuming. Instead, we can reverse the in sequence from transition logic. Let's do this. As you can see, I deleted the out sequence. We have the in sequence only. Now, click the transition button. Select if transitioning out. From the details panel, change the out tag to the in tag, then change the play mode to reverse. Don't forget to compile and save. Now, without the out sequence, you can reverse the in sequence. Lastly, create a motion design rundown in the content browser to check it. On the right side, you can observe how the transition logic is working. You can see my alpha animation is working fine with the background.